Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards here for Heffy Doodle today, and I am creating a cute little Valentine's card featuring some fun products here. So I have the Quill You Be Mine stamp set and the coordinating dies. I just think these little hedgehogs are absolutely adorable. I'm just using those two little hugging hedgehogs today. Then I have the Fancy Nancy frames, and I have gone ahead and stamped out my little hedgehogs here, and I am colouring them in with my Ohuhu Markers. I have left the colouring in if you are interested. If not, of course, you can skip through to the next part of the video. I have been trying to leave my colouring in lately because I feel like people, especially with the Ohuhu Markers, they're quite new to a lot of us. And if you're like me, you kind of looking for color combinations and that sort of thing. So I've left it in just in case you're new to the Ohuhu Markers and you're looking for some ideas. This is obviously pretty easy coloring today because there's just this one little image that I'm using of these two little hugging hedgehogs, and I colored them in exactly the same color combination. So it's not particularly difficult or intricate coloring today. It's something pretty simple, but a lot of fun. So Valentine's Day is fast approaching. I can't believe that we are nearly towards the end of January already. It has gone so quickly. Christmas feels like it was yesterday, and then in some other ways it feels like it was a lifetime ago. So time is really strange at the moment. I think it's just that kind of January, strange month. January always feels a bit weird, doesn't it? You've gotten through Christmas and there was all the hype and excitement leading up to Christmas, and then it's kind of a little bit flat for a little while afterwards, isn't it? And obviously people setting their New Year's resolutions and trying to reach their goals. So it's a strange month, January. I always find that. Okay, so I am trying to add a little bit of texture to my hedgehog spikes here. So I'm using a darker colour initially, although I got my markers around the wrong way here and realised that I'd used the lighter colour first. So I went back over it with my darker marker, and then I'm just adding some little kind of flicks in there for the hedgehog spines, and then I'll go with the lighter marker and just kind of blend it all out, and then I'll go back in with the darker one again, just to kind of emphasise those little prickles on the hedgehog's back. And then once that's done, I will pull out a kind of peachy pink marker to add a little bit of blush to my little critters' cheeks and also to the insides of their ears, and a touch on their noses as well, just to kind of bring a little touch of pinkish colour into them. So it's a very very limited colour palette today, and obviously because I'm only using one little image here, there's not a great deal going on, but I've gone with pinks and browns because I just love that colour combination. So I have my Sakura Jelly Roll pen here. I'm adding a few little flicks of that in there as well to kind of look like hedgehog spines. Hopefully it works. I'm never quite sure what I'm doing with this, but I kind of just, put it wherever I feel it looks good and hope for the best. So I think it's worked out okay. Once that is done, I will go ahead with the coordinating dies and cut these little hedgehogs out and start the rest of my card. So using that Fancy Nancy frames die, I have gone ahead and cut the frame from some Heffy Doodle Bubblegum blush cardstock, and now I'm just using a touch of kind of pinkish red ink to add a little bit of interest to this. I always like to add, this card is pretty simple, so I want to add a little bit to it so it doesn't look too plain. So I'm just adding a touch of that ink to the kind of center of that frame to highlight those little hearts there. And then I'm also going to do some splattering with that same ink just to add a little bit of interest to the card front. Otherwise it is very plain and simple, which I like as well, but I just want to add a little touch of interest to keep it from being too boring. So I'm going to set that off to the side to dry. Here is my card base, which is just some white cardstock cut to 5.5 by 4.25 standard size card base. And I'm going to use this Wildside stencil, again, just to add a touch of interest to the card. It's not overly noticeable, but I just wanted to kind of add something extra. So I am just masking off the kind of back part of my card there, so I only get ink on the front, and I'm using a very, very pale Concord and 9th Ballet Slippers ink. It's a very pale peachy pinky color, but it's yeah, like I say, very subtle, nothing too in your face here, just to add a little touch of interest to the background of my card. And you're only obviously going to see this piece through that frame, so I don't need to worry about inking over the entire card, just kind of in a circle kind of towards the upper center of the card base, which is where my little frame is going to be once I put it on. So I'm just going to check here quickly to make sure that it is where I want it to be, and that's perfect. I did go ahead and stamp out my little sentiment on the inside that says, "Here's a hedgehog for you," and I stamped out the little hedgehog holding the heart. I also stamped out the "Quill You Be Mine" sentiment on the front of my card panel. And now I'm using some Heffy Doodle extra thick acetate to create a window. Of course, I'm making a shaker card because I love a shaker card. So I'm just using some double-sided tape here to hold that acetate down onto my frame, and just going all the way around the edges of my frame there, peel up the backing paper, and I will attach that acetate down onto the front to create my window. So nice and easy, and I really love a shaker card. If you've watched my channel, you will know I often make them. I just think they add a touch of wow to something that is otherwise quite a simple kind of concept. So there's my two pieces ready to go. I'm just making sure I get rid of any little bits and pieces that are stuck to the acetate. It does tend to attract a few little bits and pieces there. There's my hedgehogs. That's where they're going to sit. And now I'm going to pull out my sequin mix. So, before that, actually, I'm going to use my Heffy Doodle extra thick foam tape. This is the 3mm deep foam tape, and I'm just going to attach that down to my card frame to create the well for my shaker pieces. So I am just going to go all the way around the edge, and then I'm going to add a couple of rows kind of in that bottom section, which is a little bit bigger, just to make sure that it kind of stays upright. So just below that little heart border there, and then another little strip in the middle of that. And then I'm just going to cut some smaller pieces to go around the kind of edges of that circular frame there. I'm not too worried about filling it all in, but I'm just trying to make it a little bit smaller for my shakers to be centered inside where that window is. Okay, once that's done, I'll pull out my powder tool and just go all the way around the edge of that foam tape, and also just a little bit on my background panel. This just helps the shaker pieces to move a little bit more freely and not get so kind of bogged down with static, so that they stick to the acetate. So I am using the Strawberry Milk Sparkle Mix from Heffy Doodle. I think this is just gorgeous and perfect, of course, for all the pinks in my card. I will go ahead and remove all the backing paper from that foam tape, and then I can carefully pop this down on top. Now, I'm normally not very good at getting it lined up nicely, but I didn't do too badly today, surprisingly. So once I have all that backing paper off, I'm going to try and line it up carefully and just make sure that it's all centered with the card base. And yeah, I didn't do too bad. Give it a quick shake, because of course you kind of have to. And then I'm just using liquid glue to attach my little hedgehogs down there on top. And then that is it. My card is all complete. Another little shake around to play with it. And I just think it's ultra cute and very quick and easy. So I hope you enjoyed this one today. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back again. And please feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.